guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're doing well today. We have a tag video today and I have been wanting to do this tag for some time now, but I was waiting for some of my newer bags to be revealed to you guys before I do this tag. And I was tagged by my beautiful YouTuber friend Irene. I will link her tag video down below. I believe this tag was first started by Fashionably Amy, and it is the 5 forever bag and the 5 bag to sacrifice. So I'll link the exact name in my description, obviously. And basically the idea is you have to pick 5 bags from your collection that you think you'll choose forever, and 5 that you must let go if you're kind of in a difficult situation. And it can be very personalized because everyone has their own backstory with how each of the bags are purchased and their own reasoning. So anyways, I thought it was a very interesting tag. So thank you, Irene, for tagging me. And I just want to take this opportunity to also thank you for your continued support on my channel. You're probably one of the first person who commented on my channel and continue to be viewing my channel and gave me a lot of good advice on my videos, so thank you very much for that. Anyway, so without further ado, we'll jump with the video, and we can always start with the forever bags because you know, those are a little bit more happy thoughts. It was really hard to pick like which 5 to let go, but anyways, I have my reasons and you might be surprised by what I pick. So the very first one is gonna be my 19. I think you might think I'm saying that because it's my US bag and you know, that's why I want to keep it in my collection forever. It is somewhat true. Sorry, I just want to take the chain out. It is somewhat true, but at the same time, I just can't see myself without this bag for whatever reason. I just love the color of it. You know, everything about it is just, you know, like anything. I mean, I could always redo this video maybe in a year or 2 years, but definitely right now, I think this is gonna be in my forever collection. I don't plan to ever let it go. You know, another big consideration for these, you know, bags to sacrifice is the amount of money that you can recoup from selling these bags in a way, right? So, I mean, if I do sell this bag, I probably can make close to what I paid for it, but you know, I don't know. I think I'm happy. I don't see myself ever letting this one go. So it's my number 1 in my forever collection. It just suits me so well, and yeah, I just can't see myself without it. So first forever bag is my beautiful navy Chanel 19. And then the next one is my very first luxury handbag, which is the Speedy 30. I love this bag. It's a present from my dad. It's my very first luxury bags. I had it forever. It's very, very used up. I can probably get what I paid for back, given that I bought this for like around $600, $700 way back when. So I can probably get close to that amount if I do plan to let it go. But I don't think it's worthwhile, and it carries too much memory and too much, you know, it means too much for me to really let this one go. And I still think it's a very functional, easy bag to use. So if ever I need something to carry a lot of things with me, this can carry a ton. So it's almost close to a smaller travel bag or weekend bag amount. So I would definitely probably still use it from time to time. So that's why I think this is my number 2 forever bag. The next 3 bags are bags that I keep in my forever collection. First of all, because I love them, and also because I've talked to you guys about this in the past, that these bags probably do not have very good resale values, and that's why it wouldn't make sense for me to be selling them to when I'm in a situation where I need money. So the very first one I'll talk about is the reissue. This one might be a little exception to what I've talked to you guys in the past. So generally speaking, the reissue, the 2.55, the resale value is not as good as your classic flaps. So generally on the secondhand market, people tend to be more gravitating towards bags that has the CC turn locks. So those ones generally sells a little better and just easier. I feel like people, including myself, right? Like when you're looking for a secondhand bag, you probably want something that's a little bit more you know, stands out a little bit more with that CC logo that people can easily recognize it's a Chanel bag. Whereas this one is very, very low-key. So the resale value on the reissues is generally not as high as your classic flaps. And also, what was I gonna say? Like, they sell much slower too. So if I'm in a crunch and I need money right away, I don't know if this is the one that will kind of get sold like that. In addition, I just love this bag. It's very special. When it first came out, it was actually really hard to get. So I think this particular one in the mini size, currently it still can be sold pretty easily. But like I said, I just don't feel like, you know, in generally speaking, I probably wouldn't pick this one as my number one to sell bags for if I am in a financially difficult situation. But right now, I just love this bag. I've talked about this bag a lot. It's probably one of my favorite bags in my Chanel collection. Now I think it's being replaced by the 19, but it used to be. And I just, yeah, I don't see myself ever letting this one go. So kind of in a similar logic for the next one is this beautiful, oh, just every time I look at this bag, I just feel so like pretty, like the bag, it's so pretty and girly, and you know, it's in this beautiful champagne gold. It's just so cute. So it's my mini or opal gray mini Lady Dior. So this is number 4 now on my forever list. And this one is brand new. So I used it quite often for filming purpose, but I never carried it outside. And it comes in this, the stickers are still on it. If I peel it off, it'll probably be even nicer and shinier. So it comes with this Dior charm. It's just like super cute and classic. In the same reasoning that I picked this one as my number 4 on the list, because I purchased this one from the boutique, so it was already at a pretty high price, even though they have increased the price maybe 2 times since I've made the purchase. So right now it's, you know, retail price for really high compared to what I paid for. But again, if I'm in a crunch and I need to let this one go, I'm not sure how quickly this will sell, given there are so many secondhand and vintage ones out there for a much lower price. I feel, again, Dior, I've mentioned this in my other video as well, in comparison to Chanel and Louis Vuitton, Dior is probably one of the ones that has the lowest resale values. So even I were to post this, you know, for resell and try to get money back, not sure exactly how much I'll get. Probably not be able to recoup what I paid for from like when I paid a while ago. Maybe just given the condition, like some people might be willing to do it. It will come with full set, but it won't sell very quick, I don't think. So that's why. And again, I just love this one so much. You know, right now I have the 2 very basic signature bag from Dior. I don't really feel like I'm not really planning to add more anytime soon, but I might be lying. But at this point, I think I'm happy with it, and I don't plan to let this one go. So my last one is my saddle bag. I think, again, it's probably similar to my 19 just because it's so new to my collection. I just love it so much. I can't see myself parting with it. And plus, too, in addition to that, like I just said, Dior, generally speaking, their resale value is not as great as the other luxury brands. So given that I've paid full price, even though I bought it before the recent price increases, which was not that much, maybe like it was a $400 increase, it was still pretty pricey. So even if I were to resell right now, I would doubt that I can get the same amount back that I paid for. So, and it's in this gold and black timeless combination. So also for that reason, you know, I see myself having it in my collection forever. It's probably not one of the ones I will pick to let go if ever I need money for. So anyways, so here you go. I will recap my 5 forever bag very quickly. It's my Chanel 19, my Speedy 30 in the monogram print, one of my oldest luxury bags. It is the mini reissue in the black distressed leather with antique aged gold hardware, super adorable. And the beautiful mini Dior in the opal gray color. This is in the lambskin if ever you're curious. And then lastly, my grained leather black Dior saddlebag in this antique gold hardware. They're also beautiful. Recording these videos makes me so happy because it kind of reminds me what I have in my collection, and it makes me happy. All right, so the more fun part of the video, the 5 to sacrifice, and I think these ones are probably gonna surprise some of you, but maybe not, you can tell me. The very first one, so like I said, if ever, like knock on wood, I don't ever want to be in that situation where I have to sell my bags. But if I am in a financially difficult situation, I have to let go a bag to get money back, like, or get money quickly, it will have to be this guy. Okay, so this is the most expensive bag in my collection. It is still more expensive than the 19. So because this is in the medium size, and I purchased maybe 2 years ago now, and at that time the price is still higher than the 19. And it's the beautiful classic double flap in the medium size and hard in the silver hardware. I've used it not that frequently, so it's pretty much in like new condition. And you know, it's just the most classic piece. If ever I need money, I think this is the first one, the most logical and reasonable bag to sell, because it can probably sell relatively fast and it will give me a substantial amount of money back to get me through whatever the hard time. And obviously another main reason is because these are reoccurring. They will always come back. You'll likely be able to still fairly easily track one down, like a Cartier leather in the silver hardware, the medium size, fairly easy if you try. So if I ever, you know, want to get it back, this is still fairly accessible. In addition to that, I think I've talked about this a fair amount as well, is the classic flap is probably one that you can find the most on the pre-loved market as well. A lot of people purchase these for the sole purpose of, you know, collecting and then resell later on for a profit. So you can obviously, I mean, you can always find these somewhere, right? So for that reason, I think, you know, logically speaking, the most sensible thing to do if I'm ever in a financial situation, it would be to let go this bag first. And then the next one is this Coco handle bag, this one here. So a few reasons for this one. I love this bag. It's one of the more brighter color bag in my collection. I've never really talked about this story very in detail, but I can. I'll probably do a review on this bag at some point and tell you guys more about it. But basically the idea is I purchased a mini square, and that bag was defective, like there was an issue with it. So I had to like go and return that bag or for an exchange. And at the time, the store policy kind of made me choose a bag right at that moment, like right on site, without much flexibility. So obviously, you know, the stock that they had in store was quite limited. There was no other mini available. There was no other bag that I kind of had my eye on right away at the time. So, you know, this one I asked my husband, and he really loved this blue color. I love it too. It's a very bright, beautiful blue color. It has this burgundy handle that mimics the exotic leather that they had at one point. So it's a beautiful bag. So he really liked it, and then he kind of pushed me to exchange for this one at the time. But I think, you know, I think some of you guys who has gone through that experience would know the bag that you pick like under pressure, or, you know, impulsive buy, or something that you purchase like because you had to buy, kind of leaves a weird feeling in your heart, because it's not a bag that I've been thinking or I've been wanting for the longest time. And then, you know, it's very different. I really wanted that mini square, but it was there was a major defect with the leather on it, so I had to exchange, but there was no other option. So I'm kind of like pressured to pick this bag out of the store at the time. I still wear it like maybe once. It's basically new, like there's no wear on it at all. But essentially, like, that's what happened. And after that point, it's always been a bag that I love, but I don't reach for it very, very often. And in the back of my head, I kind of still feel like maybe it's a bag that I'll let go or exchange for a mini or something at some point. So anyways, for that reason, I think this is gonna be my number one. Like, if I manage to sell this one quickly, I might list this one for sale as well if I'm in a kind of financial situation. Another point to this is Coco candle, they're not part of their classic line. So that's something always I consider, because, you know, that could mean the trend won't last for very long, right? Like, it's very popular at this point. You can still resell while you can, but maybe at some point, I mean, it goes like in waves, right? Trend goes away and come back, so maybe I could just wait until the next wave. But again, I feel like, anyways, I would still obviously love, none of these bags I would sell unless I must or I have to, but this is probably number 2 on my list if I have to let something go. And then the next one, I think then the next 3 is really the bags I pretty much don't want to sell, but if I really, really have to, those are gonna be the ones I pick. Because they're not as expensive, so really how much it can help my situation if I do let them go, you know, it's debatable. But the walk. So the walk is actually my very first Chanel piece, and it's just so beautiful and classic. I love it still to this day. I just have not used it for some time now. Given that I've added so many new bags to my collection, I just have not used it. I still think this is such a perfect bag for a wedding or for something more formal, because the chain is beautiful. It acts like a piece of jewelry, just so gorgeous. The gold on this is just beautiful. And then it's very small, compact. It's very user-friendly because it packs in like a wallet essentially. Hence the name wallet on chain, and you have all your card holders. It's well designed because it has a slot for your cash and things like that, and it just has so many different compartments that you could organize your things. The problem is, because it's designed like that, every time you use it, you do have to transfer out everything from your other purses and the wallet in order to put it in here. So it's kind of a challenge to switch between this and your regular bags. Some people actually even use this as a wallet. They actually just have all their stuff in here and use it in their different larger bags. But I think that's a lot because the chain itself is quite heavy, and the size is still quite substantial for a wallet. And if you put that into any regular bag, it pretty much takes up the big majority chunk of space from those bags. So for that reason, I don't think it will work either. But I think it's such a lovely piece. I think it's too long. The chain is definitely too long. You could wrap it around the flap and that will shorten it for sure. Anyways, so back to my point. My reasoning for that is because, like I said, I just haven't been reaching it for very frequently lately. And because I purchased a while ago now, the price I paid on this bag is still fairly reasonable. The walk has since gone up like in pricing like crazy, like a good, I don't know, like a good $1,000 I think on this one. Since I've purchased it, and the condition of this one is still really, really nice. Like the corners are still no wear and tear on the corners. The hardware just have some fine line scratches, so it's still in excellent condition. I do feel like this one I could probably make a profit on if I do plan to let go at this point. So that's kind of my reasoning. Again, it's kind of a classic forever piece, so if ever I regret or change my mind, it's one I can go back to and repurchase if I must. So that's my number 3. Surprisingly, my first 3 things are from Chanel, which is kind of crazy because my collection is not super huge, but these are the ones that I feel could generate the most amount of money if I do plan to let go, and that's why I've put them as my top 3. So the next one is actually a Louis Vuitton piece. It's this beautiful Louis Vuitton No Way. And I purchased this from Vintage, from eBay. Maybe, I can't remember, maybe less than a year, close to a year ago now. I love this bag. It's definitely like the style and the look I've been looking for. I love a nice big tote bag, and this is not quite a tote bag, a bucket bag, but it can hold a lot, and it's just one of their classic line, and this vintage in such beautiful condition. I just love this patina on the Richetta leather. It's just so beautiful. Overall the condition is amazing for like a vintage bag. And I've only paid $500, just over $500 Canadian for this. So like I said, the reason if I do ever plan to let it go, then it's because I feel like I could potentially make a tiny profit on this one, so that you know, if I need the money for it, at least I know I'm not losing money by letting this bag go. So there you go, that's the reason for it. And like I said, I just haven't really been using it since I purchased because of our current situation. I do plan to use it more, but if ever I am like stuck in a situation where I have to like sell my bags for money, I think this might be one of them as well. Unfortunately, sadly to say that, but just trying to be realistic. And then the last bag, again, it's kind of like I'm pushed to a point where I just don't know what else to pick. It's my mini Louis Vuitton puzzle bag. I can't, honestly. I don't know if I can say goodbye to this bag. This will be the last one. If I must sell, this might be the one. And again, it comes to the fact that I actually got this one for a really, really good discounted price. And therefore, if I do plan to let go, I can probably at least get my money back or even make a slight profit if I have to. But again, I don't really see myself letting it go. Another reason is I did mention in a number of my videos is I have always been tempted to get the larger size for the puzzle bag. Right now, the mini bags are still very much in trend, so this one is so cute. And they even came out with a nano one, which I also think is super adorable. I wouldn't go for that one because it's just a bit too small, but it's so cute. Like the nano version, it's still so adorable. This version, the mini version, can still be very functional. It actually holds a ton. I am always impressed by the make of Louis Vuitton bags. Their leather and their craftsmanship on the bag is always just like amazing. So I love these bags. But if ever I come across like a larger size, or you know, if there's a trade, for example, like to a larger puzzle bag, I may consider that as well. But right now I'm satisfied with the mini one, and I still really love it. I can't wait to use it more often when the weather gets warmer. But yeah, so unfortunately I've listed this bag as my number 5 to sacrifice. I can't sacrifice any of these, but this will be the one for it. And so I feel like I'm being a little too realistic with my choices, because at the end of the day, I'm picking the bags that I feel like if I let go, I won't lose money and I could potentially make a slight profit on. And that's kind of how I justified my selections. Whereas kind of similar in the similar rationale for the forever bags is kind of like, if I do let those ones go, you know, I'll be losing money on it. So I feel like I'm being a bit too realistic with this tag video. But that's the choice that I have right now. It'd be fun to revisit my answers maybe a year or 2 years from now and see what I think of those. So thanks again, Irene, for tagging me, and I hope you had fun watching this video. Talk to you guys soon. Bye.